I've actually done some biomass, and I've done some PV, and I'm on the way to wind. Biomass, I planted half an acre of short rotation willow, which 7 years ago, which I first started cropping last year, and basically that provides half, will provide half my heating needs in the house, and reduce the oil consumption to about 500 litres a year. So that's quite useful. That's just by chopping it up, sectioning. It's one long trunk, about 24 feet high usually, which you just section off and chuck to dry for a year, and very handy, very cost effective. In terms of PV, I installed 2.4 kilowatts in 2008. So I got kicked in the teeth by the FITS regulations, but I extended it last year, and so I now get an additional 1.6 under the new FITS regime, which is very satisfactory. And my figures are very similar to yours, actually. In terms of a 4 kilowatt system, installation cost £15,500. That's partly because I did it earlier, so it cost a bit more. That's after the £2,500 which I got. Normal annual return £1,468 if you did it now, plus what you'd save based on 50% consumption used in the house, £220. Return £1,690 on £15,500. which gives you 10.84%. But on top of that, I have found in the 3 full years I've had my system operating, that I've got an average of 4% over target, because these figures are based on target figures. And in fact, last year was a very good year. I wound up 7.5% over target. The previous year 5%, and the first year I was exactly on target. So that gives you an indication that that's 2008, that year. And in turn, I'm actually signed up with Ecotricity, who I find are absolutely brilliant. They even pick the phone up when you ring them, and they even respond to emails within 24 hours. They're actually unbelievable. In terms of the annual production, you're talking about sunshine. If you take the 3 winter months, that is to say November, December and January, that will account for about 10% of your production. If you take the 3 months either side of that, by the spring and autumn months, that will be about 22.5%. And the 3 summer months will give you 45% of your production. So that's an indication of how it's spread throughout the year. Anyway, even with the fact that I only get guaranteed 9p for part of my system, I'm still on a return of about 7%, which is not too bad. But if you did it now, you're talking about 11%, nearly. And the technology is very simple. In theory, you should wash it down once a year, but the snow does that for me anyway. I've had no mechanical problems since 2008, when they first went in, so that's 3 years. In terms of wind, I've been working on getting permission for 2 turbines on top of Toller Down up the road here. Because it's in an AONB, I recognise that you can't install, you won't get permission for a massive turbine there. But shopping around, I found quite a nice sized turbine, which looks nice, and is a total of 35 metres to top blade tip, which is about the height of the nearby Rampisham radio station masts. So it's quite easy for people to appreciate just how visible they're going to be there. In terms of planning, well, first of all, you have to get MOD clearance. If you want a turbine, that's the first thing you have to do. That's very straightforward and reasonably quick. And the second thing is to get wind readings. Very important to get an anemometer up. Our mast is actually 10 metres high, and you can scale up readings to 25 metres with the right anemometer, so that you know what the wind speed is going to be at hub height, which is what is really, really important. And that system cost me 200 quid. It's obviously on a piece of agricultural equipment with a pole, and since that's a mobile mast, You don't need planning permission. It might be available for hire in anyway, the planning process, I mean, I did it all myself. I didn't employ anybody to do it for me. I just got the forms and I banged it in. And obviously I didn't get it right first time, but West Dorset, which is my authority, came back with a series of questions. I answered the questions, and within a month or two it was registered, and we were all steam ahead. I would say with West Dorset, they don't always tell you what they want first time, so they'll want to do surprises popped out of this, which cost me a bit of money, but nothing outrageous. And what they do, which is really annoying, is they ask you for information which they've already got, but they obviously haven't read the detail of the application. But it hasn't been too bad so far. And I haven't got permission yet, we're still waiting, we're still part way through the process. What happens now, or when we get the planning permission, will be to go out to tender, because I haven't got any money, to developers and ask them to quote a price for ground rental. So that's the next stage when we've got planning permission. There is some pressure to get the local community to invest in this, in the turbines, or one of them, and that will also be a question I'll be asking the developers to see whether they can offer the opportunity for people in the locality to invest in those turbines, so they actually feel they own the local energy production supply. So there we are. That's all I'm saying.